From one celebrity to another, from a living one to a dead one. I mean, you guys saw this. So apparently, Pablo Escobar, deceased drug lord of Colombia, passed away in 1993. His pet hippos, or at least descendants of some of his pet hippos, are cleaning up what was once a relatively toxic ecosystem. So here I'm going to give you the skinny. In other words, it seems the large herbivores like the hippos in Colombia are playing a biological role similar to that of the mammoths, giant sloths, and giant wombats during the late Pleistocene period, about 116,000 to 12,000 years ago. This gentleman goes on and says, while the hippos don't directly replace another extinct species, these restore parts of important ecologies across several species, yada, yada, yada. The cocaine hippos are apparently changing the ecosystem down there. Alan, you had said the stories of Mr. Escobar's animals. He put Joe Exotic and Carol Baskins to shame. Give us your thoughts.
He was one of those rich guys that had a private zoo that could have turned into Joe Exotic, but he had mad cocaine money, so he was living a very different life. You selling cocaine and using meth are very different lifestyles, but exotic animals come into play at some point in time. But yeah, so I think there's a whole Discovery Channel documentary maybe on this very topic about how these hippos have been seen as an invasive species to wildlife authorities in South America, because I think they're not only in Colombia anymore. I think they've moved into countries surrounding Colombia. And so yeah, but apparently they are helping in certain areas balance ecosystems, because I don't know, humans are assholes and we probably did something to it to fuck it all up. So it's a very interesting topic. Mr. Escobar fucking accidentally fixed South America.
Bullshit. Bull hippo shit. No, yeah? They're still afraid of Pablo Escobar from the grave, so they won't even disparage his cocaine hippos. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard. Look, the only reason they get away with this is because it's South America. Could you imagine if we just some drug dealer in America randomly released his exotic animal, just the whole menagerie out into the wild? Nobody would be praising that guy. Well, I think it's really good for the ecosystem, the fact that these invasive man-killing machines are out there in the wilderness doing their thing. Bullshit. They're afraid of everybody that's left over from Pablo Escobar's army. They're still not going to put a bullet in the head of the descendants of those 4 stupid cocaine-filled hippos, and that's it. This is the dumbest thing I've ever heard.
It is way more than 4, my friend.
No, it's no, but
a lot of hippos.
No, they said there's 400 of them, but they all descended from these 4 hippos that Pablo Escobar had back in '93. It
certainly seemed odd for for not only a country but a territory like that. I'm just assuming that the killing of exotic animals in those countries, just like it is where hippos naturally are in parts of Africa and Asia, that these people would kill them. They wouldn't be a problem, and they've managed to live thus far. That's a good point. Didn't think of it like that. I just thought it was wild that a drug lord's thing got overthrown. Hippos went about, had wild monkey hippo sex, made more hippos, and they've been eating. God, what do they eat there? Was it from the rainforest? They suck down everything there. Just take
everything green, bro.
And just take massive dumps that helps out the area, right?
Yeah, and I also like how they painted that pretty picture too. Well, what about the hippo poo? Oh, that's great for the water. No, it's not. It's not at all. You're a bunch of liars. Someone's afraid of someone. That's all there is to that story.
I was going to say, poop in water is usually not good, just biologically speaking.
Yeah.
That's generally not a good thing.
No,
But
if it's
I don't
running
know, man.
water,
You can't
it's
just
good.
get like they don't have it. I don't think they have any natural predators in fucking South America, so they're just running rampant.
Humans.
And fucking, it's not very easy to kill a fucking hippo in the savannah when you can see one very clearly. So I'm assuming that in the jungle, it's a tall task to fucking start assassinating 400 hippos.
Yeah, that's probably true. Yeah. And it is the rainforest. It rains all the time there. It's not exactly a dry season.
Yeah.
No. Well, here's the thing. Like, I think there's like a Hawaiian island where like almost no one can live now because they've got so many invasive deer. So if that's the case, why don't they just let some of old Joe Exotic's tigers loose on that Hawaiian island? Just let them thrash them out for a while and then take them back to Africa, let them loose, and everybody lives free, happy, and wild.
Wouldn't be well. You talking about any captive tiger?
I'm sure a captive tiger would not act like a captive tiger after about 3 weeks with free food running around the hillside.
Did you see those captive tigers fucking drag Joe Exotic and try to fucking eat his ass? They're still tigers.
Took Daddy down for some sardine oil on a boot.
He said, "I'll shoot you between the eyes, you bitch."
Where's that mannequin? Pow!
That might have been the most impressive scene in that whole series too, because the amount of restraint it would have had to take for him to not shoot that tiger between the eyes. He put off like 5 shots, like right around it, like made a circle around that sumbitch, and then still limped his gimpy ass out of there.
He hit the shit out of it with his cane too. It's funny as fuck.
Yeah, we're still talking about this motherfucker. Pablo Escobar's hippos are on the loose, and we still make this about Joe Exotic.
Yeah, everything's about Joe Exotic right now.
Yeah, and as it should be.